What is up, guys? Today is April 21st, 2026. Today I'm going to be reviewing today's price action and the one trade I ended up taking, which was this break even. Starting with the higher time frame, what did I see today? I can see that we're obviously trending bullish. We are at all-time highs. So we have all-time highs marked out here. We did also have a bearish SMT, but I was not worried about that because it is against the overall high time frame trend, and we're just super obviously bullish. So right now we see we have this 1 hour gap at open that we could manipulate to and expand higher. So what I wanted to do coming into the day, since we had obviously no other imbalances, I wanted us to open low into this 1 hour gap and then take an inversion out of that, targeting this unmitigated 30-minute gap and as well as this buy side liquidity and all-time highs. We have this 1 hour fair value gap marked out. I was not looking for any shorts because we are at all-time highs. I'm not trying to be shorting this at all. So I wanted us to open low and then get inversion out, targeting this low resistance here. So I was also open to us opening low, generating liquidity, and then taking a mech towards a 5-minute gap here. I was also open to opening high and then creating a 15-minute continuation towards this buy side liquidity and all-time highs. So just going straight from open, what can we see is that we open low, we hit my 1 hour gap, which I wanted to see manipulation off of, and then you can see that we continue just to keep chopping around here. And at this point we did have a 5-minute gap, which I was considering taking as a inverse, but what I didn't like about it is that when we ended up getting this close here, when we ended up getting this close, we ended up closing all the way into the 30-minute gap here. So that's just something I'm not interested in taking, as well as ES already hit all of our main TPs here. But one of the main reasons that I didn't like it is because we had 10 a.m. news, and especially when we started accumulating here, then I just didn't want to be taking anything at before 10 a.m. because there was just nothing clean. It was messy, and I didn't think we were going to get anything that was going to be obvious. And also, whenever there's 10 a.m. news and we start accumulating before 10 a.m., you just don't want to be taking a trade. And this just wasn't any real manipulation here. There was also a 30-second short here somewhere, but it's nothing that I did like. And you're just targeting high resistance when we are super obviously bullish. So we ended up fading the short setup here, and this 5-minute, this RR was just way too bad. I could not be able to take that with any good risk to reward. Then coming into here, we had this 5-minute gap here. So this was looking really good. We had our data highs right over here, and we also had this connected with a 15-minute internal high. So this was a really good draw, and I thought we would continue ripping bullish here. So I wanted us to resweep this low and get an inversion. This probably would have been super A plus if we got this, but we didn't end up getting that, and we ended up hitting this high. So then I'm still looking for a trade because we have this buy side liquidity here, and we still have all-time highs, which is still not taken out, and this is my main external DOL, so I was still able to look for a long here. But then at this point, I started thinking that we were gonna get a setup, so I kind of just was off the charts. I was doing something else on my computer, and then we ended up getting this setup here. So this is when I kind of got emotional. I wasn't really fully focused, and I just came to this, and I was just like, what the heck, I don't know if it's good, I don't know if it's good or not, and I didn't fully analyze it, so I felt really hesitant, and then I wasn't sure if I should take it or not. So then I don't want to say I FOMO'd into it, because I definitely didn't FOMO into it. I just didn't want to hesitate on something that looked good, because this does follow the model. The only thing I was worried about is just the targets, and I was just out of it right now. But I ended up taking this, and I had my break even set at this 3-minute, and actually MNQ ended up hitting the 3-minute. Like, I was just so out of it at this moment. MNQ hit the 3-minute, and I went break even, ended up losing $35, and I just didn't even see that MNQ hit it. Or I didn't see that only MNQ, not NQ, hit it, but I would have got break even anyway. And I was just like, this was just a really weird setup, but overall this is a really good trade. And The only thing that was really lacking about this was the fact that we had a 3 minute here. So when I'm taking this 1 minute, it's just a super obvious break even. And if we were to get this 3 minute here, it'd just be way more cleaner and way it's just better confirmation than taking this 1 minute. But it's still a super good trade. We tap into this 5 minute continuation that's sponsored by the hourly. We get this internal soup here, and then we get a 1 minute iFVG. Just some other things that weren't bad about, or that were bad about this, is that you see this 1 minute candle. We have a straight down candle, 30 points down. Then our inversion is barely 30 points. So it just shows that like the selling pressure, or selling pressure you can say, was just more than the buying right here. So that's another reason you could have waited for the 3 minute. But during this trade, I honestly just didn't even see the 3 minute, and I thought this was a bad trade, and I was kind of pissed at myself. But ended up being a pretty solid trade that everyone else, a lot of other people took, and it does follow the model. I just wasn't in the moment thinking about it. But one of the main lessons I should have done is just stay on the charts until I'm completely off the charts, because that kind of just messed with my head a lot today. So I'm not gonna be like half watching setups. I'm just gonna be doing full analysis before a setup even happens, so I don't have to hesitate and see if I want to take it or not. And especially seeing that we still have this external DOL, which is all-time highs, still here, then it's just still a super obvious good trade, especially with this buy side liquidity. And we also had a 3 minute gap here. Also before that, we did have this 1 minute short here after hitting data highs and a 15 minute internal high, which I did not like at all, because on a lot of the times what I see is when I'm shorting, when we have a super obvious DOL like all-time highs here, then I just get completely wrecked, because this is a stronger DOL than this 5 minute. So why would you want to gamble with that? It's just not a high probability trade, and shorting at all-time highs is never good move, especially when we are super close to all-time highs. It's just not probable. But yeah, this was the one trade I ended up taking. I'm gonna make sure to know what the mistakes I made are for tomorrow. But so far in the week, we've had one setup on Monday, which I ended up taking a bad entry, which I'm gonna do a recap on later as well, that I ended up losing. And then today we got another break even, but the consistency has been better. We've been getting better frequency. And let me just show you guys my P&L here. So we are down on the account. Just ignore these stats. It just looks really bad. That's not super accurate. We did take this winning trade here. These two are just one of them is a break even, and the other one is just randomly entered me in and I lost money. I don't know. This was a loss that we took, a valid loss. We took this was a random entry. This was a break even. This was the loss I took on Monday, which is a dumb loss, and then this was a break even. So don't see all the red P&L and think that I'm just super like emotional. But this is just days where I'm just losing a few dollars just because TradeCA randomly enters me in, and I'm just getting break even. But overall, I'm hoping for some more good PA this week. But I do really like this trade, and looking back, it was definitely a good trade to take, and it was just my hesitation and analysis that I had that made me hesitate on it. But it was a good trade, and that's gonna be the end of the recap. Hope you guys learned something from this video, and make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.